And what I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's cost the district in the past, so this one says it's all funded through donors choose.
That's what she's put in there.
That's great.
Yeah.
In the past, I think we paid for part of it, if not all of it, through the district, so that's great.
No, so it's gonna be paid for, she's like,
It says it's all funded through donors choose.
Last year it was
Right.
donors, last year,
They
first
did?
year.
And then 2 years ago, 3 years ago, FOL paid for part of it, so
Yeah.
it's been really minimal cost.
It's a phenomenal. Like,
The kids still talk about it.
Oh,
The summer school kids we had.
That's good.
okay, and then the last one is the April vacation, which is people are going to Italy.
How many did you sign up for that?
Over 20, I don't have the firm number right now, but over 20.
Just
Which
from our
is great.
district.
Yeah, just from our
Yeah,
district.
$1,685 per.
Yeah, when they first, it was less than that, I think it was 34.
Oh, well then.
Well,
I know,
200
I figured out.
when we first did it, but 9 nights in Italy, that's
Mm.
all inclusive, that's good. It
No,
was
I'm just
actually,
thinking of the student, the price for the trip.
Yeah.
Obviously good.
So when will you know if those 20 students have expressed an interest?
no, they've already contracted and paid portions of it. They're
Yeah, they
on,
had to
they're on a
start paying.
payment plan.
Oh, that's right, that's.
It's through EF Tours, so all that is, I know,
And
negotiated.
this is what grade?
This is current 8 through 12.
Oh,
It wasn't offered to 6th graders when it came out, so it was offered to 8th graders.
And how many chaperones?
Every
Does it depend on the
six-
number or the?
Every 6 kids, EF Tours gives you a chaperone.
And chaperones pay their own expenses as well.
So, yeah. So the chaperones, the adults who are going have already paid,
Yep.
started to pay their payments, and when we get the final number of chaperones, those chaperones will, get a reduction, so if we've got 21 kids,
Right.
20, whatever it is, we'll.
And are those chaperones already determined or not? So
They've already committed,
started,
I've
great.
started paying, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I would like to have a motion to accept Lakeway, middle school, high school, CTC field trips, all of them.
Motion to accept these are all overnight,
Yeah, well,
field, right?
Yes.
These
Just
are all
the overnight
Overnight field
trips.
trips.
It's for the 1920 school year for the elementary school, middle school, and high school.
is here a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Folks? Okay.
I like it for that.
Do you like that? That's
I
helpful.
think
Well, I
easy
think
for me
that's
to
much
follow.
better because
It was
it's
verbal
easy
in
to
the
follow,
past.
and then we can ask questions.
Yeah, I like this one.
No, I like that.
Committee reports, personnel,
Meet on Wednesday.
Yeah. Wednesday,
Wednesday the 7th?
Yep.
Okay.
9 o'clock, right?
Okay. So, the facilities had a good meeting the other day, right, Dale?
We always do. Should come.
Then you always won't.
So, my report, under old business, the LHS rock walls. The board voted to have Horizon Engineering do the engineering study. And as of 11 o'clock that same day, I got a notice from Dale saying that he got the PO, he sent it to Kathy at Horizons. So that amount was $13,500, which came out of the school board's contracted services. We just have to figure out whether it's gonna be done before school starts. Lakeway roofing, has not started yet, but I understand that
Wednesday,
Palm area is waiting on confirmation of materials, and they're gonna start
it's
Wednesday.
being delivered Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock.
All right, great, hey. Did you get in touch with Mr. Clough about the parking lot?
No, I'm starting to, I left a message Friday, but, when I've called his phone all day today, it's been busy, which is odd for a cell phone.
Yeah.
So I've not been able to touch him.
Circulator pumps that were purchased from Abbott quite a while ago, we're now working with Jeff McKay to do something with them. The blinds are supposed to be installed in the academy on August 19th, by Details.
As well as the science rooms, as well as the science rooms.
And
of
the
high
science
school.
rooms, yeah. Lead testing, we're going to put no drinking on various boxes that have not been, that have failed, let's put it that way. On the building updates at Lakeway, the second floor hallway, painting is done. I understand there's a couple of bathrooms and teachers for 2 room then.
Mhm.
Yep. And at LHS, the slate rock stairwells are done.
They look great.
Huh?
They look great.
Okay. And the main hallway at LHS has been stripped and re-waxed. The SAU ramp is done. It looks beautiful. Thank you, Rick, for such a great job.
Thank you, Home Depot.
Yes.
And Home
Yeah,
Depot.
yeah. I didn't realize
For
they
that,
did
on
that.
that grant
Yeah.
that George got in
Thank you.
2016, the money to install the period.
That's true.
It's really great, I look, really great.
We have to place some sanitary dispensers at the high school. We're going with a different company, so it will only cost us maybe $1,000 unless Crystal has one or two.
She does not want them. I talked to her today. She does not think it would be beneficial.
Okay.
And that is the least expensive, the company that Steve,
Is it
was-
Shish? Shish?
the company's Aunt Flo.
On floor?
Aunt Flo is the company.
Okay.
Line. But it's about $2,000, which is $1,000 for the dispensers, and then the materials, the
Okay.
stuff that we have to put inside is about $1,000 for 5 cases of each.
We talked,
No, I was just gonna ask, the law, is it only pertain to high school then?
So
So-
7 through 12,
Okay.
high school and middle school.
Okay.
We had, from our facilities meeting, which we kind of got off topic a little bit Friday, but we thought it would be a good idea to check with Crystal before the second
Yeah, no,
floor,
oh,
while we were
absolutely.
doing it.
Yeah.
And she declined, she think it would be more of a hassle than.
She doesn't have to do it, so.
okay. We did discuss about purchasing portable bleachers for Littleton Academy. And it was stated that they could also be used for seating on the stage at the high school. And as an afterthought, I wrote in here, what is the seating capacity of LHS gym? And would this interfere with that number?
You can put 70 people on the stage, so one set of bleachers would be less than that if we were to bring those over. We generally don't even set up that many chairs, but that's what the fire marshal is allowed, it is 70 for the stage.
Okay, I just wanted to, I thought of it afterwards.
And that's only a couple times a year. You know, playoff games are a big rivalry game.
And Dale was gonna check on a couple of quotes for the SAU roof in the driveway.
I'll start to get quotes, yeah,
Okay.
understanding that it would be for 2020.
We talked about the bus replacement, and I suggested that it needed to be researched now, whether we do a lease from Barry's or however we do that. We also need to look at a truck that may not pass it future inspections, asbestos removal. Dale said it cost about $10,000 per floor, but he's gonna check with the vendor to see if it's more than.
Just to correct that, so what you type there, there's not 3 or 4 more floors. There's
Oh.
1 floor, it's the 4th floor.
Gotcha.
There's 7 classrooms in 1 office.
Three or four more classrooms, maybe.
It's 7,
Okay.
3 plus 4
Okay,
will be perfect. And it's about $10,000 per classroom is what we pay to have it removed and retiled.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm gonna check with Skip to see if we could get a better price if we did more than one at a time.
Okay.
And then Alex does the HVAC units, we might replace one next year. So then Dale wanted to know what he should put in his budget, and I said, put everything in his budget and the board will decide. There you go. That's the facilities report.
All right.
Don't shoot the messenger when you get it, that'd be- just take out what you want out, that's
She said
fine.
Put it in the budget, the superintendent will take it.
Yeah. We know Steve's gonna get at it first.
What happened?
Don't need any sticker shock. that's for sure.
Have we ever looked at, you know, I know, as we're talking about bus replacement, we're talking about truck replacement. You know, I think certainly we could look at a used truck, and not necessarily a new truck, and still get a decent vehicle. Do they have used buses that are worth even looking at?
I know when we had talked, Tom,
Jerry might
Jerry,
have
might
some
have-
information.
Yeah, there's a place in Concord
Yeah, there is.
that sells all kinds of used buses down there, because we have to bring buses down for maintenance.
So maybe we're, maybe we're in the same district, same.
Oh, yeah,
some money and
there
get-
are used buses on the market.
You know, like I bought my truck with 19,000 miles on it, and I saved a ton of money versus buying it new.
And you don't need a lift on a school bus, where we have to at the senior center. So
Or
you
should we,
Oh, we might
I think we might need
If-
one.
if-
might want to get a lift.
Well, I think-
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, well, they have lifts also, because they're certified,
Right,
you know.
But it just, as we're looking at this, we might look at options, lease, used and new, and just see where we are. It might be easier to. Might be easier to get it passed. Might be easier to get it passed on a warrant article if it's a little less expensive and.
I think when we talked about this during budget season last year, Tom had suggested, which I think we all agreed with, was to check with Barry's about,
Yeah.
you know, because not only is our bus in a retirement phase, the driver's gonna be retiring at some point too.
Yeah.
So it's a two for one.
Yeah, we need to look at the option that.
Yeah.
as well.
so maybe if you can give the contact information to Tom, or Dale, we need to look at it. So there's your minutes for you, Dale.
Thanks, I just started typing them up today and then you sent yours, so I just copied and pasted yours into it.
So full.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is several policies.
Bravo.
The policy DFA is just the investment policy, I think it is. And then we have to annually review that every year. And if there's any changes, it's just an annual review.
And the treasurer has reviewed this policy.
Next item on the agenda is JI. That's student rights and responsibilities. Ours was dated way back in 2010. So we updated it, the only update in that policy is the wording of JIA. So that was added in here. Any questions, you can stop me as we go on. Maybe just fill us in. The next policy was JIA. Student due process, we didn't have any of those, but when we looked at reviewing some of the policies that had to do with student discipline, Jen and Greg, my comment was if we do some of these policies, we have to follow the related policies as well, so we just did. So basically, JIA, student due process, is a failing policy for us. JIC is student conduct. Ours was adopted in March of 2013, I believe, maybe it was only, 2008, excuse me. And I think we must have revised it in 2013. And then NESBER came out with a more updated policy in 2018. So anything you see in red is new language.
A lot of it.
Yeah, and we actually had quite a conversation about this one. Didn't we, Kim?
Yes, we do.
So. The next one is JICD, which our current policy is 10 pages long. They had a revised one from NESBER in 2018. That references it, so I think this whole policy is practically rewritten. It does talk about disciplinary measures, removal from the classroom and detention, standards for in-school suspension, restriction of activities of probation. I think we're sort of all aware of social probation when somebody calls up at athletic events. Standards for in-school suspension, restriction of, I already said that. Process for out-of-school suspension, long-term suspensions, process for expulsion. Subcommittee of the board, for purposes of sections D and E of this policy, it could be just the full board or just a subcommittee of the board. I felt it should be the full board if they had to revise part of this. On sections D and E. And then we have disciplinary movement with disabilities and notice of examinations. So we added student discipline out of school actions. That's only one page here, but that's a brand new policy. Pupil safety and violence prevention is JIC. This policy was done in 2010. And I remember distinctly that one of our high school students went to the New Hampshire legislature about bullying and won with her comments. And then NESBER updated it in 2015, so that's what we did that one as well. So from the agenda, first read and adoption for JI, JIA, JIC. What do we do with JICD? I gotta look back. First read tonight for JICD. And first read tonight for JICDD and the same with JICKJ. So, any motions?
So we're not chance to review. You did. You did. Very good. All right, so I'll make a motion to accept policy JI, student rights and responsibilities, JIA, student due process, and policy JIC, student conduct from first read and adoption.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And a motion to accept policy JICD, student discipline, JICDD, student discipline, out-of-school actions, and policy JICK, pupil safety and violence protection, bullying, for a first read.
Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for all the work, you guys.
So, I think Jennifer, that will also help you with your.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Did you have a motion on DFA?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Motion for DFA.
Motion to accept policy DFA as it has been presented for our annual review.
Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. I think we're up to the superintendent's report.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm gonna ask Jennifer to share updates a little bit about NEASC. We got the letter in hand, we got the letter as well. But George Edwards, NEASC chair and NEASC director also. So he's the head guy for NEASC. Was part of our visiting team, and we've talked about this a little bit already. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of preparation. We have teacher leaders who are very, very dedicated, and of course Jennifer, who worked really, really hard through this to get us to this point. And the final part of the process is coming up in the very near future in November. But I think that as I said before, the thing that I've liked, what I've seen, what's happened with this process is not just the results, which are at this point stellar. Although we're not without our faults and our flaws and our challenges, we know that. But the fact that it's been the work of many. I've been through accreditations. I've been on all ends of the accreditation process. I've probably sat on 30 or 40 teams altogether in various forms and fashions, and I've been the recipient of an accreditation process 4 or 5 times. So I guess what I've noticed over the years is you go in as a team and you get these documents. Some in advance, usually it has lots of materials and information and so on and so on. The team looks it over very carefully. And then you go in and then you validate what's in the documents. And I've seen situations where you got these lovely documents and everything was there, and about 2 people knew anything about what was in the documents, usually the principal and the principal secretary. And not in that order, by the way. Not in that order. So needless to say that, that wasn't, those kinds of processes weren't well received by the teams that I was on. And I've talked to colleagues who have been able to say, this process was nothing like that. Jennifer was heavily involved, as were other members of the leadership team, but this was teacher driven. Yes, we had 2 or 3 teachers that did a lot of the work, no doubt about it, but it was still very much driven by the efforts of them as well as the teachers under the facilitating leadership of Jennifer and her team. So that's my perspective on it. I'll let Jennifer speak a little bit to what was in this letter.
Okay, so if you've had a chance, it's,
Yeah.
last summer it was our team, our self-reflection team, working with the teacher groups that were able to create the report that drove this past fall's preliminary visit. I can't remember what they call it. Was it the preliminary visit? And these are the results, the findings. The commendations are significant. There's almost 20 different commendations. And the one thing that we've spent since we received this report in February, early March, is work on our missing piece. We've had growth plans, but we've not really had a school improvement growth plan. We've always had plans that are associated with the SIG grant or, just more short-term that are not holistic. So with teacher input through our professional development days this year and surveys to the teachers for input, able to create that document draft. We're still working on finalizing that, and we'll share that with you. We have a report due in September to NEASC to prepare for the November visit, and that's what our co-chairs have been working on this summer. And the NEASC Steering Committee, which is more guidance administrative. So we're looking forward to that November visit. We've already secured space for that. We're looking forward to more of their feedback.
Is the November visit, are they the same dates or?
The November visit is, the 3rd through the 6th, so they come in on a Sunday and go through a Wednesday.
I wanted to confirm the dates are right, because I noticed the third was a Sunday.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, because it was.
It's a Sunday. They come that afternoon, they'll do their work. In the past, they've structured it where it's a big dog and pony show the school puts on for them, and it's not that. This year, it would be more their team facilitating, and we'll have opportunities to meet with groups of people, so you'll be invited again to meet with that visiting team as board members, so will our parents, so will groups of students and teachers. It's a larger model of what they did in their 2-day visit this past November.
Can I make a recommendation that we, for the dates of really the 4th, because Sunday doesn't impact us, but the 4th, 5th, and 6th, that we limit any board-related meetings to just school board on Monday, and that way the teams that are working on this are not overwhelmed with trying to meet budget meetings or what, just block
Oh,
those
yeah.
3 days off to just
That would
allow
be
them to
helpful.
get through NEASC. And
So,
we have a board meeting that Monday, because that's the first Monday of
I
the
just
month.
have leave it as is.
And leave it as, and maybe make that not the principal report night, so that the
Yeah,
principals don't need to come for it, and just
That
let them
is-
focus on the NEASC visit and not worry about anything else that week.
It's prime budget season.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
if we
that budget-
it means we gotta cram in a couple meetings 2 weeks later, then I'd rather do that than let them focus on this and,
I appreciate it,
so.
really.
Yeah, that's cool. Good job.
So anyway, we're well on our way. There's been a significant amount of work done this summer, and we'll continue through September to get that final report ready for them.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
Great, thank you.
But we are in good shape.
How
Yeah,
soon,
nice.
how soon after that visit do they actually have your, is that it? Is this the
This
meeting?
is the major visit that should be, I bet it's been, I don't know how many years since we really had this annual visit. but-
Well, I haven't been on
We
school
get
board since you've done this
preliminary-
last time, so.
We get preliminary feedback at the end of their visit.
Okay,
And oftentimes they'll indicate where we're lacking and where we're
Yep.
doing very well.
how soon do you get the final?
It's usually another month after that,
Okay.
Yeah, from a
6
But sir-
weeks.
But would it be in time for our deliberative session or our town meeting?
I hope so.
Because it would be great is to kind of maybe at that town meeting, do a quick
Yeah.
recap of,
Yeah, and they'll do the same thing they did this past visit, where they'll give us the initial report for our review to make sure that there wasn't any discrepancies in
Right.
facts, and then,
it would be a great opportunity to get that out to the community and say the hard work that our team has done on this, and
thank you, yep. I'm pretty sure we-
I just didn't know if it was like a 3 or 4 month, you wait for the report, and
No,
so, okay,
Christmas present.
yeah, great.
Good team of teachers working on it.
Okay. So the next, or the last item we have on the agenda before we go into non-public is, we had 2 people interview for a 6-month position on the board. And what are those feelings or comments or what have you? Ooh, you're excited.
Well, I'm gonna do that one tonight.
It would be great, I mean, it would be terrific to have both of them.
I thought they were both great. You know, I know this, hopefully they know there's a lot of work involved and they're gonna get right into the thick of it. Shortly.
I don't know this for sure, obviously, I don't know if student care will have more flexibility, more time. To dedicate.
I was kind of thinking about that too, like, he's mostly retired, I think he could have more time. Sounds like Mrs. Coleman is quite busy even with her part-time jobs.
I don't think we should make that call. I mean, she obviously
Right.
knows how to time manage. I mean, I'm quite busy, but. We're all quite busy.
Yeah, I-
Right here.
I thought both candidates are great,
I
and I
did too.
appreciated the fact that
I
that
did.
they volunteered to step up and fill this role. The biggest thing to me was I know that, I believe Mr. Merrick was only interested in this position until the term of the year ends. And that's an awful lot of stuff to, it took me over a year to even understand half of what we talked about in each meeting. I think if we've got somebody who's actually interested in extending that in the spring and putting their name back on the ballot, I would lean towards something like that is potentially going to stay on more than just a.
She doesn't know either.
But she will, absolutely,
Yeah,
and
so
it doesn't mean that she'll make that decision come that time either. That's the only thing that to me would be
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
a deciding factor.
Yeah.
But otherwise, to me, they were both certainly, they appear to be capable, eligible, and enthusiastic to do it, so.
I did like that Mr. Mayor had some familiarity with what we were reading the right way, and was able to give us some feedback on that.
Well, I also like the idea that he did familiarize himself with minutes,
Policies
of
and
the
what we
school
were
board
doing,
for the
that's true.
past year, and he knows about the Lakeway problems.
I know. They're both almost.
There's
Then I don't know, we have to make a decision here.
well, either that or we can think about it, maybe we'll figure that out.
If we have to choose to go
Yeah.
Do either one of the candidates have any family members or, like I have conflict of interest, and you have a conflict, does either one of the candidates have a conflict of interest when it comes to voting? And what would that do to our,
Yeah.
well, like I have to abstain from certain votes that
Right.
pertain to my wife or my mother-in-law or my
So,
brother-in-law at times.
and just to,
And has to abstain when it pertains to her
is
son.
there,
And is there a conflict with either one of them? Or they have a spouse, a child or
She
something
has somebody, she has a relative in the system.
that's employed by the system? Okay, so they would have to abstain from, okay. And would that put us in an inability to vote on anything because we don't have enough? Because we have to have 3 board members vote. So,
It would be interesting.
so that would be the only thing we have to be careful of, is that
Yeah.
if it was right now we have,
Yeah, two of you already.
well, I have a para for me and a teacher, but I don't have anybody on,
And I have a custodian.
in custodial services. What are the 3 categories? Are there 4? Which is administration, a whole different, one fall under one of the other agreements? No, they don't, right? Because like we have a teacher contract, we have a para contract, and we have an agreement with the custodian. But that's it, right? So then I think this would only put us at 2 people on the board with a conflict. If this person's relative is in any one of those categories, still needing 3 people to vote. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? So 2 people would have to abstain, which still would need 3 board members' ability to vote.
It would be like 2 people to vote, and 2 of us to, 3 of us to abstain.
Why 3?
Custodian, teacher,
Right, but do we ever have any votes where, I guess that's my question, is there anything we would ever vote on that, like everything I abstain from, you generally do not have to? Everything you abstain from, I generally don't have to. Is there anything that we would vote on where we would both have to abstain? Am I confusing things or? am I making
No, I
sense?
know.
You got it. Makes sense.
I got it. It's
Because
out
if there isn't, then adding one more person with a conflict of interest, as long as it doesn't put us to 3 of us having to abstain from a vote, leaving only 2 board members, then we still have a board majority to be able to vote. We have a quorum.
Right, other you might end up, yeah.
The only time we would have that is if somebody's out, away, sick, on vacation, where it's down to 4, and now we have 2, and we would have to delay the vote to the next meeting, is what we have to do.
Didn't Mr. Mayor say that he had to bring his budget?
Yeah, I think that's what we did.
Yep.
Yes, experience with budgets.
Yeah, and he did say he was working as well, he was working on the side, he wasn't fully retired.
Yeah.
He does-
Oh, that's right.
He does some publications,
Consulting.
yeah, consulting. So that was the only question I had, is whether or not, as long as we don't run into any conflict of interest, votes that we have to have too many people abstaining and not enough people to vote, then I think we're okay on either candidate. And that wouldn't be a reason not to.
You could contest it tonight.
You're testing me?
So,
So,
Because I don't know what to do.
but there would be potential for 2 of you to be out at the same time.
correct, yeah,
No matter what the.
As long as you have a full board, that's okay.
Right,
correct.
as long as we have that.
Right, otherwise you'd have to delay the vote to the next time we have a full board, 2 weeks later or whenever that may be.
This is where it's not working with me.
I know. So do you want to vote now, or do you want to go into non-public, do what we have to do in non-public? Because we're going to come up and vote on a couple of those items.
I'm okay with it.
I'm fine, yeah, it doesn't make any difference to me. Do you have any more discussion?
The only question I have is if there's 4 of us,
Yeah.
so if 2 of us vote for one and 2 of us vote for the other, what's the tiebreaker at that point?
Alcohol?
Because we don't have a fifth fourth, so did you say alcohol or you go home?
Alcohol and alcohol.
Then we just do rock, paper, scissors. Just like they do on the playground.
So that was, I'm sorry to be the,
No,
That's okay.
be the devil's advocate here, is to,
I wasn't even thinking.
Okay. Well,
All right, okay.
hey, Bubba, what do you want? Are you ready?
No,
All right, you want to think about it?
I want you guys to make a decision.
Excuse me?
It's true, I really don't know quite what to, we both have their,
They both have good merits.
Yeah.
No matter what, you know what, there's gonna be 3 seats available next March.
Yes, there
It's
are.
true, whoever doesn't get
2
selected.
and 9 million next year. you know.
maybe.
The only 2.
Oh,
It'll
gosh.
be a 2-member board.
What happened to Tim? She drop off the cliff too?
She's still here.
Still tired.
Okay.
All right, so.
All right, let's do something. Please, yeah, this.
You want to draw straws?
I want you to make a decision as the chair.
Oh, excuse me. Next?
I am fine voting.
No
I mean,
problem.
I think whoever we decide, the person that does not.
Okay.
fill
Millie
this
wants me to make
position
her
can
decision for
Jump
her.
right in.
No, you can't do that. No, I've never let anybody do that. That's what I
Oh,
was
you said, let me make the decision, now they're gonna vote.
Okay.
My vote's Mary Cole. I just feel she comes with the experience with what we're dealing with, social, emotional, with our homeless population. I just thought that was, she has she has the perspective that I don't personally have.
Right.
And I don't know that we as a board have a very good perspective from that. I think it would bring great value with changes in education in that area and what we're trying to do throughout the district. So that's why my choice is Mary.
Okay.
My biggest concern with Mary is her alliance to Lisbon. She's been there forever. I'm hoping that she can make that division. That's my only, because I know that school and I know most of the staff and I just hope that she can do that. That's my only concern. Other than that, I'll vote for Mary. And hopefully that she can do that. Lydia, you asked for it.
Okay. Next?
That was one of the same things I was thinking of, is that how tied in, I love the experience that Mary has. but
Yeah.
How tied in she is with her position at Lisbon right now, and as she said, she's got 23 students right now, she doesn't know
Really?
what's gonna happen when the school year starts.
not that any of us know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So I was leaning towards Mr. Merrick at this point, you know, again, because we have just a short time and he's got budget experience, which we're gonna be jumping right into budget season very shortly, so that was my feeling. I know, it's difficult.
Thinking about politics.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I know, one for Mr. Merrick. For Tom.
Well, my vote would be to go to Mr. Merrick because he's got budget experience, plus he's a lawyer, so he could be legal. Legally help us, who knows?
The tiebreaker.
So now we have,
Uh-huh.
who saw this coming?
So it sounds like it's 2-2.
Well, that worked out well.
Why ask the question?
Yeah, glad we had that talk.
Yeah. So, and I
Good
mean,
talk.
he also had looked at all of the school boards
Yeah,
minutes for the past year, so, I have a concern with Mary because I think no matter what, she is gonna be very busy with what she's doing. I also have a concern that the school husband also wants to do this.
What was the last thing you, I'm sorry,
Her husband works for us.
sorry.
And I just thought I'd change the scenery a little bit. Anyway, food for thought.
All right, so so what do we do? Do we need to like take a break and come back and talk about it some more? Do we table it till the next board meeting and let them know that we have had this discussion and we're split? Do you want to bring them both back? God, no.
That would
I'm just, yeah, no, we're not for a debate, but you know, if there's any other things that, you
Why do
know.
you want this job? I mean, we act like they're really running for mayor.
Fox News and CNN.
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't do that to them.
I think I could call him tonight and tell him that we're split vote, that we invite them to our next meeting
Aw.
and maybe interview again.
No. That's a bad idea. I think.
I want to go into non-public.
Yeah, can we just like talk
Come out of non-public and then we
Let's
can
take care
discuss.
of stuff.
Yeah,
Right,
that
yeah.
sounds good to
Yeah,
me.
let's just
Oh,
move it along.
That way we're not holding these folks up.
Yes.
Oh, you don't want us to sit here?
Okay,
Good idea.
so we need to go into non-public. Who's going to make the motion, please?
Gee, I'll do it for once.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to enter into non-public session under paragraph 2, section 3 of the RSA 91A:3 of the right to know law for number 2, hiring of any, hiring.
Number one,
Number 2, number 1,
number one.
dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee, or the disciplining of such employee, or the investigation of any charges against him or her, unless the employee affected has a right to a public meeting and request that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. Number 2, the hiring of any person as a public employee. Number 3, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the board. And I won't read the rest, I probably should have read the rest of the last one. That's it, taking with us the superintendent, the business manager, Patty.
We have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Redco.
Millie? No.
And Wiggett.
Ken wants to-
Okay. And vote.
Thank you,
Have
John.
fun. Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.